Just the word anger, we usually just use one word, but there is no one fixed behavior called anger. Like a person, a wife getting angry that the husband is not paying attention to me, that anger is different than a person you getting. So basically, you're walking through the road and someone just nudged you and you're shouting at them, they are shouting at you. You both are angry. This anger and your wife shouting at you, it's not the same emotion. There are two different functions of these two emotions. So, for example, when the person just hit you and you are trying to kind of both are getting angry and shouting, this anger is basically your body activating you for a physical conflict that seems right now it's going to happen. Your wife saying something, it's commonly in relationships, the anger issue is basically expectations that are getting frustrated. So basically, I wanted this, I wanted that, but you are not giving me that. Please give me that. A person will say something like that. If you don't give them, the next day, probably the uh, after a few days, let's say, of trying the same thing, you will then get angry at your partner. So again, look at what the function that anger is trying to serve. So again, like people will get angry at work or something, and the reason is something else, that they are not slept well again, and we are trying to just send them to some anger management camp and just doing some sort of a counseling without fixing the issue. It's not really going to help anybody other than the HR guy who has to file something, some sort of a report. So basically try to understand which sort of anger is there. So again, anger is an emotion. People experience it normally also. It can be part of some very serious psychiatric issues like depression. It can be a sign of anxiety also. And a number of psychiatric issues will present with anger. It depends on the situation. I would say look at the context first. A person, if he's getting angry at something doesn't make sense. He wasn't provoked that much and he was getting angry. And this has happened again. This has happened previously. So looking at context like that, we will say whether it's normal or not. Anger management is a real thing, especially if you go technically about it correctly. If you're just taking these counseling sessions and people are just talking to you, uh, it's not really going to work. Like sometimes there is a tendency among counselors is like you are their client. Like people go to counseling sessions all the time, and they say that they are getting angry. The person will ask, okay, what happened? You will tell the story of XYZ number of things happened. The only source of information for that counselor is what you say. And you can be wrong. You could have been wrong. You could have been the one who's responsible. Who knows? That counselor doesn't know. So usually, be true to yourself first before telling others. Like try to understand honestly how much I was responsible. Like from inside, like from your own behavior, you can notice. If you got angry at somebody, I would say instead of putting the responsibility on some other person, try to figure it out. Okay, what I can do. Is this thing happening again and again to me? Okay, if this is happening, is this real? Is this my nature, or I have become like this since a few days, few weeks, or whatever? And then again, if there are certain kind of illnesses, get help. If you are a person who knows somebody who gets angry, let's say you are a person, your wife or your husband or your friend gets too angry, look at them the same way logically. Is there a deeper reason? Is there an illness, or is it just their character, their nature? Right? Sometimes the nature part cannot be completely fixed, but again, counseling can help indirectly if the counseling is done well technically. So if they follow some sort of a logic to the counseling, then of course we can improve, and of course we can manage. If you are getting angry more than you should, and in the context it doesn't make sense, so whatever the situation is, it didn't require to be that much angry. And again, if it's happening too often to you, like you're getting angry too many times for too small, like too many small little things, especially if it's kind of bothering you also now, like you have noticed that you are getting angry too much, get help. Again, if it's associated with other things, you also cannot sleep at night, you're also having low mood, anxious mood, and then it becomes much more relevant that you should go and get help.